across the ring.
The counter punch.
Go ahead and talk about this shit and how it took place all the way from the very beginning. Now, what a lot of people don't know is this sparring session had a lot to do with Tank and Devin Haney's sparring session. See, ROLLY always wanted to spar Tank and Devin Haney. And keep in mind, at this time, all these guys were damn near teenagers still. So this happened a long time ago between the sparring session between all of these guys. Well, ROLLY and Tank never sparred, but you guys get me, right? ROLLY was chasing Tank for a sparring session. And this is why I tell you guys, for those of you guys out there that don't take sparring seriously, all these guys do. Devin Haney, Errol Spence, Tank. Why you think Devin Haney put pause on Tank in the first sparring session? Tank wanted his run back. Shit, because even though it's sparring, it's still a statement. And these guys is trying to still fuck you up. So with that being said, all the times ROLLY chasing Tank and Tank not getting back at ROLLY. I'm not saying Tank is scared. He just looked at ROLLY like he was a clown. Like, you know, I don't even take you seriously. I don't even take your ass serious enough to spar you. But ROLLY was making some big noise. And that's the reason why Floyd Mayweather hired ROLLY. And he wanted ROLLY to be a part of his stable. Because ROLLY was stopping everybody in sparring. ROLLY was just known as the bully that was just bullying everybody with his power. But the only problem ROLLY had was everybody that he was stopping was considered bums. Nobody on the money team was really even popular like that. Tank was a part of the money team, but Tank didn't want to spar ROLLY for the reason I said earlier. So this is when ROLLY sparred Ryan Garcia. And this is when a lot of people started to take notice, like, shit, ROLLY might just be the real deal. Because ROLLY was telling Floyd, man, I want to spar all these guys. Tank, Devin Haney, even fucking Ryan Garcia. He's telling Floyd, none of these guys can handle my power. He want all the top dogs, you know, in the ring or in sparring. Like, one thing about ROLLY, he wants that work. Like, you got to give him that. So Floyd said, okay, we could get you Ryan Garcia. And that's when Floyd told ROLLY, don't let me down. This kid Ryan Garcia got power just like you. So go in here and do your shit. And Floyd promised ROLLY, if he go in there and do a number on Ryan Garcia, then he can get him bigger names in the actual boxing ring and sparring. Now this is when ROLLY really became the bully, because a lot of people thought that Ryan Garcia was going to stop ROLLY in the sparring session. And as you guys can see, a lot of people say that Ryan Garcia was just practicing playing with ROLLY and ROLLY was taking it all serious. Yeah, because ROLLY was trying to impress Floyd Mayweather. And can you blame ROLLY? This is how Mayweather signed ROLLY, because ROLLY was whipping everybody ass in sparring. So of course he gonna take Ryan seriously, knowing that Floyd is looking, and Floyd told me that if I go in here and do a number on Ryan, then he could give me bigger opportunities. Hell yeah, I'm gonna whoop Ryan ass. He was trying to impress Floyd like shit. If I whip Ryan Garcia ass, which he did, a lot of people, or should I said the general consensus felt like Rolly Romero got the best of Ryan Garcia in that sparring session. All right. And keep in mind, what made matters worse for Ryan Garcia, and of course bigged up Rolly, was the fact that Rolly got the best of Ryan twice. And Rolly was in there trying to take Ryan's head off. That's why a lot of people still give, Ryan a lot of credit, because it's like, Rolly was in there trying to take your head off, and he did hurt Ryan Garcia a few times. And he said that every time he got to Ryan Garcia held him. And whether you like Rolly or not, a lot of this shit shows in the footage of the sparring that was presented to us. Now, with that being said, Floyd told ROLLY he was going to get him that sparring session with Tank. And the ROLLY eyes lit up like a damn light bulb, because this is who ROLLY really wants. Because he knows this is Mayweather's biggest star. So ROLLY is like, if I'm able to knock out Tank or beat up Tank like Ryan Garcia, then Mayweather gonna have to really start taking me serious. And when I mean serious, I mean as serious as you are taking Tank. Because a lot of this played and came to fruition. Keep in mind, Mayweather did grant Rolly Romero with the actual fight in real life. And if, yes, Rolly Romero, he did better than a lot of people expected, but if he would have beat Tank, then the sky would have been the limit for Rolly. It's too bad he got his ass knocked out. Not trying to make Tank look bad, y'all, but a lot of the people was looking at ROLLY like he was the man, and that Tank didn't want no parts of ROLLY, because the general consensus, especially people that is involved with the money team or people that even do business with the money team, shit, fuck it, even if you're a fan of the money team, a lot of people were saying that Tank don't want no parts of ROLLY because, you know, it's like a big risk and low reward. You know, it'll be a difference if Tank goes out there and he spars Mayweather, right? Because it's like, okay, you're supposed to lose to Mayweather, but you're not supposed to lose no damn ROLLY. Also, keep in mind, you got Coach Bullet walking around telling everybody that ROLLY knocked out 95% of the people he faced in sparring and on the actual stage. So he's promoting the shit out of ROLLY at this time, just like you guys seen when they actually fought on the main stage. Nothing different. You also had people that wasn't even Team ROLLY that was co-signing for Rolly Romero and his power. Rolly Romero been a part of a lot of those TMT dog fights and was running through people. So if ROLLY put those paws on you, then he's really solidified. He's already known as a sparring bully, especially around this time, y'all. About a good 6 years ago. And I know a lot of you guys lied to yourself and you want to make it seem like sparring don't matter. Man, listen, the fans could think what they want. These actual boxers don't think that way. All right? So, being that Floyd Mayweather and ROLLY could not get Tank to spar him, it's like Tank didn't want nothing to do with ROLLY when it came down to sparring. Everybody got their reasons. Some people even try to blame it on ROLLY and say ROLLY was the one bullshitting about not coming to the sparring or not wanting to face Tank in sparring. But general consensus don't believe that, because ROLLY had everything to gain and nothing to lose. Tank, on the other hand, had everything to lose and really nothing to gain. You get what I'm saying? So it makes no sense why ROLLY won't show up to that sparring session. ROLLY was the one chasing Tank, y'all. And that's part of the reason he got that fight on the actual main stage as well. But anywho, Floyd Mayweather told ROLLY after his success against Ryan Garcia, since they having complications with getting Tank Davis in the ring to spar, let's go ahead and spar DEVIN Haney. Now, keep in mind, this is when shit get interesting, because DEVIN Haney, he wants all the smoke. One thing that DEVIN Haney is going to do is match energy. Not only with ROLLY, trainer too. The same way Bullet want to run around talking about, you know, that he's going to fuck you up and all this shit, it's the same shit with Bill Haney. But what ROLLY didn't know around this time is he's better off sparring Tank. Well, I'm quite sure he did know, because he wanted Tank. But nah, because I think Tank is just more popular and shit like that, especially at this time, y'all. So ROLLY was like, no, we're going for the big fish. But DEVIN Haney is also a guy, if you beat him up, or let's say you stop DEVIN Haney, shit, that really solidifies ROLLY, especially in the sparring department. So ROLLY didn't have no problem. He's like, man, I'm gonna fuck this dude up. I'm gonna fuck him up. No, he can't do nothing with me. And Devin Haney's letting them know, man, you're not gonna even be able to touch me. Shit, it got to a point where it was ROLLY Pops, Coach Bullet, Devin Haney, Bill Haney, Floyd. They all was going back and forth, pumping up this sparring. And y'all also have to keep in mind too, when Floyd is promoting the sparring session, you guys seen it before, these doghouse sparring sessions and shit like that, this shit be packed. Like, they have a lot of people watching this shit. So for all you guys that keep on wanting to say that sparring is just sparring, you have a big audience watching this sparring session. Now, who just wants to see or just want to get their ass whipped in front of a big audience? Shit, I don't give a fuck if it's just me and you fighting. I'm not trying to get my ass whipped in no sparring. So, back to the story. This is when ROLLY told, after all the commotion, etc., right? ROLLY just said, man, I stay in shape. Let's go spar right now. F all of the talking. And Devin Haney was up to the task too. And one thing about ROLLY, and difference between Tank and ROLLY, I should say, especially at this time, y'all. ROLLY is a guy that stays in shape. Tank is a guy that jumps in and out when it comes to shape. You know, 1 minute he's in shape, the next minute he's not. That's why Devin Haney was able to take advantage of Tank in a sense when it comes down to, you know, the sparring or whatever. So when ROLLY and Devin Haney is all in each other's faces, right? Mayweather said, no, I'm finna schedule a date for both of you guys to get it in, and then we're gonna go from there. And that's what I'm gonna take you guys. Let's go from that part, the commotion, the back and forth, you know, basically like a face-off / press conference, everything, right to the sparring session at the Mayweather gym. So as soon as that bell rung, Rolly Romero ran straight to Devin Haney and started throwing heavy blows, trying to end Devin Haney's life. And some of those punches was landing in the first round. What Rolly didn't know is that Devin Haney was gonna basically, this is what Rolly called running, but he was gonna get on his bicycle in a sense and just box the shit out of him. He's not gonna get in there and give Rolly what he wants and spar and go blow for blow and have a pit bull fight with Rolly. Hell no, he ain't finna give Rolly that. So that's exactly what Devin Haney did to Rolly for 4 rounds. But Rolly caught Devin Haney with some punches that caught his attention. And Devin Haney did do some grabbing in that sparring session. So these guys won a few rounds, and in that first round, it looked like Devin Haney almost got stopped because he kept holding Rolly for dear life. Like, I don't know what he's trying to do, and that's one thing that Devin Haney got bad. Like, instead of him just using his feet to get out the way, he'll just hold you, especially after he get caught with a good shot. Things got real dramatic in that first round, y'all, because Rolly, after being grabbed so much by Devin Haney, Rolly grabbed Devin Haney and like slammed him. Like, this is when Rolly showed that he's a black belt in sumo. Some shit like that, y'all. Don't quote me. But he showed that shit in the first round against Haney. So, yeah, Rolly kind of was being dirty as usual. But he did win the first round. But that's when Devin Haney came out. And I guess Bill Haney told him, don't even grab him. Just use your boxing skills and shit like that. And Devin Haney got on his bicycle, grabbed here and there because Rolly was still landing these bombs here and there. But Devin Haney took it pretty well, especially after the first round. It got to a point where Rolly was getting frustrated after 4 or 5 rounds of just not being able to hit Devin Haney. And he was getting countered by little pity-pat jabs and uppercuts and shit like that. Rolly will land his signature left hook here and there, but it seemed like Devin Haney started to really get, the car was warmed up already. He was ready to go. It got to a point, and even Devin Haney confirmed this when ROLLY started to argue with his pops. ROLLY and his pops was arguing so much because his pops was trying to just stop the sparring. And ROLLY wanted to keep on sparring, but ROLLY was complaining about being held and Devin Haney running. He wanted to keep sparring Devin Haney, and that Devin Haney didn't want it and shit like that. But ROLLY and Devin Haney sparred about a good 6 or 7 rounds, and from what I'm hearing, ROLLY only had success early. But ROLLY kept saying the man kept holding him, and he was just running. That's when him and his pops was arguing about the man keep holding me, and then as soon as they break him up or whatever, that's when Devin Haney started running. That's what ROLLY said. Like, man, this man keep running from me, shit, and holding. That's one of the reasons why every time ROLLY is asked about Devin Haney to this day, he kind of runs from the question. Like he always say, I don't want to fight Devin Haney because he can't even sell out the arena. I don't want to fight Devin Haney because he's a boring fighter. He's saying all that shit because he was the one that whooped your ass in sparring and outbox circles around you in sparring. That's what happened in that sparring session, y'all. And what made matters worse, Mayweather saw the whole thing. That's one of the reasons why Mayweather don't want to risk putting Tank and definitely not no ROLLY in there with a Devin Haney, because Devin Haney can possibly do things like you witnessed, I told you in the sparring session, and others have witnessed with their very own eyes. But that's the end of this sparring session, y'all, and that's what happened. I'm out.